You know, people talk about what's the point or the value of a liberal arts education. Shouldn't we all be going into kind of technical things? Well, here's the truth. We are living in an age of obsolescence. More now than ever in any of our lives collectively, or quite frankly in human history. Things are changing so rapidly that there is no fixed knowledge base that if you're just armed with this suite of facts that will sustain you professionally and personally. The reality is today's world is a world that is in such flux that in fact any fixed knowledge base is not going to get you very far. The problems of tomorrow are problems that we can't even imagine today, and more interesting and more positive, the vocations of our students are vocations that we can't even imagine today. That's just fact, and it's happening much faster now than we were all young, if you think back to it. So this idea of, well, it's very important to teach these basic facts that will sustain them, really not so much. Especially in a world where you can look anything up on Google, and of course Wikipedia knows all the right answers, right? So the facts are there. You know, what defines an expert? This is another question I want you to think about. Right? Expertise in the 1700s or the 1600s or the 1800s or even the 1900s. Those were individuals. They were human beings that had the capacity to hold within them facts and figures and information. What does expertise mean when in fact all information is accessible? Well, now we have the internet, right? The information superhighway, it's all there. The question is, how do you process it? That's where the rubber is going to meet the road in today's world and in tomorrow's future. How do we process that vast amount of information? Because if you look at it in an ineffective way, it's just a big web. In fact, they call it the web, right? The information superhighway is just a web of information. How do you make meaning of that mass of material? That is a skill we can teach. It's one skill, one of many, in the guise of teaching individuals how to find their voice in thinking effectively, in thinking creatively, in thinking innovatively, by intent. The act of creating, whether it's creating new ideas, whether it's creating new programs, whether it's creating new medicine, whatever it is, it's the act of creating something new. When you take on that challenge, you are creative. And that's the mission. And that's the true promise of a liberal arts education. It's to deliver habits of living and habits of thinking that will transcend your 4-year experience and will allow you to, in fact, live and lead in a world that's constantly changing, where the facts will be changing, where the frontiers will be changing. So, the liberal arts, that's the value. It's a holistic experience to engage you in thinking. Now, what I'd like to do here at Southwestern is challenge the business as usual model for education. I would love to get to a place where this checklist that every single student in this country has, including at Southwestern, I've got to take this course, I've got to take this course, and so forth, begins to fade. And instead, what flows is this experience where, in fact, courses and ideas begin to run together. Why I am attracted to Southwestern? All you have to do is look at the Paideia program. Because there you see the beginnings of something very interesting. The idea that you can have a sustained experience, not just in one semester, but over several semesters, not just in one discipline or one field of study, but in many fields of studies, and there are connections. In fact, maybe that's one of the life lessons we should be teaching intentionally, that we should be looking for connections between things that other people do not see as connected. Couldn't you almost define that as leadership? Leadership is seeing things that other people don't see. We can teach that intentionally and build those habits.